have ordered 60 chairs, and the tables will be. I talked to Amy today to make sure that we get somebody down there that we're buying that locally. And the podiums, Jennifer, I was told to ask you about. We had somebody donate the podiums.
Yes, we got our podiums donated by, off the top of my head, I can't think of the name, but it's Judy O'Brien and her husband.
Judy O'Brien.
Her husband works someplace where they like give away furniture and stuff like that. So they came up to us and asked us if we were looking for anything, and I said yes, podiums.
Okay. Well, we want to thank Judy. She was here a minute ago. She said thank you, Judy. We appreciate that. And so that's pretty much my report. So I know that. Okay. All right. At number 8, agenda items for the next regular scheduled city council meeting. Any ideas at this time? Otherwise, take them to one or both Timothy's.
Is it possible to put the remodel of the city hall, just those 2 end bays, out for bid for contractors, local contractors?
I'm not sure. I would imagine we could.
You mean for a meeting room?
But if we don't have
Yeah.
Then we still have to go through the fire marshal.
Yeah, I doubt it.
That's
Yeah.
detailed.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to have a professional oversee that. The contractor can't design to do that stuff, I believe. The contractor can do a residential, build you a house that he lays out himself, or whatever, but he can't come.
The contractor I had in mind specifically, I think, built this building. That's why I'm questioning this. Is it possible?
Yeah, my gut feeling is I don't believe you can. You have to have a professional.
Someone would have to draw.
I know the state fire marshal would have to inspect it, and the state fire marshal has to have blueprints.
If you thought it built 200 years ago, that's an old contract.
anything else for the next?
Been business a long time.
Anything else you guys want to bring up? Okay. Then we'll go to public comment, number 9, the second public comment. And the same public comment goes for 3 minutes, and we go further by public comment and or 8 minutes.
Tom Perrin again. When you were talking about the National Guard, and I was a National Guard for 22 years, the National Guard has a dual role, so I was just thinking, make sure that the governor is in the loop too. It's a dual role, and because you were just talking to federal, I just wanted to keep a heads up on that. So he's considered in the loop.
Yeah, dealing with the Army is like state and military.
Well, it's National Guard has can be called up by the state governor or federal, the president. And it's a dual role type of thing. That, after 22 years of it, you got to understand him quite well.
So, Don, if I could follow up, so what you're saying is that we would have to deal with the National Guard and...
Well, the National Guard is with the government and, you were talking about Harry Reid.
Okay.
On the federal side. But there's dual role.
Yeah,
As long as both are in the loop. They both say, you have the building, go for it.
Okay.
But, if the federal side says, yeah, and then all of a sudden the governor says, hey, wait a minute, we have an interest in this. So it should be considered. Thanks.
Thank you. Anything else for public comment?
Oh, Marty asked me, I just want to let you know, I'm sure you all know now that the high-speed internet is all up and operational. They are now selling it to the offices. I talked to people saying, yes, I got it.
Thank you.
They're real happy about it. So, and I got to upgrade mine. So,
I invited Stephanie and Chris with AT&T anytime they want to come here and do a little presentation or something.
I'm sorry?
Is that residential also?
Yes, anybody can get it. Business or
The waiting line should drop off pretty quickly.
Oh, there's no waiting line. They've opened it up.
They got it going.
Yeah, they've got some great equipment, and it's real fast stuff. The stuff you can get now on the newer equipment, depending on how far away you are from the central office, you can get up to 18 megabit download with 1 megabit upload.
Is this through fiber optic?
Well, that's the connection. It's to the equipment, and then it goes out on copper to the customer. It's still on a copper link, but it's much faster. But we got a lot more ports available now, so that's what's nice about it. People who are live farther away, that this newer equipment won't work to, they can still use the older equipment to get out to those further lengths. That's not the issue. So, because there's going to be people who are going to be too far away. You know.
What's further away mean?
Well, it's just because of copper characteristics of a pair.
You're too far away.
I know, that's unfair.
Yeah, you know, like, because are they still on a waiting list, the Mount Muir Power with their Wi-Fi
Yes.
in areas? Really? Yeah, because I always wanted to go over and talk to the gentleman that runs that neck of the woods, you know, because we have a fiber system in their office, and they are only right now buying a phone company, just what we call DS3. But they could get what we call on a fiber link into their equipment. You know, of course, they have to buy equipment from Interface to be able to give you more customers. So, the capability. So, but there's just limited on their equipment, what they want to pay for.
Okay, anybody else for public comment? Roger?
Try not to blast everybody out here. Mr. Mayor, City Council members, my name is Roger Bowers. I'm a resident of Ely, and compared to most people who are in this room tonight, I'm a very newcomer to the area. My wife and I moved here 11 and a half years ago, primarily because of my work. I've been in business for myself for almost 30 years. But there was a secondary reason, and that was my love of the railroad. I've been a train buff ever since I got my first Lionel toy train when I was about 9 years old. But I've always enjoyed it. And after we moved here and got acquainted with the area, started volunteering for the Ely Renaissance Society and the railroad. And I've put in hundreds of hours, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. That said, I would like to thank the trustees here tonight for tabling some of these things. I will add that I am probably the newest member on the management board of the railroad. I have served now for almost a year, but not quite. And in that capacity, I have been trying to learn and trying to find out the history, study the history of the railroad and everything that's gone on in the past. I am very familiar with it from the old Kennecott days. I started working out here in 1974. So I've been coming here for many, many years, and that's why I moved here. One thing I would like to say is that when I became a board member, I pledged that I would be as objective as possible. And one thing I have seen is a lack of cooperation. Many rumors, like Mr. Westland has said, and rumors, lies, innuendos, all sorts of things going on in this community, and I don't like it at all. So I would say here, I can't speak for the rest of the board, but I will pledge to you that I would like to see a new cooperative spirit to try and resolve some of these problems. I realize there are problems that need to be addressed, and I think we can do it, but I would like to see it in a cooperative manner. And I am willing to work with you and see if we can't resolve these things to the benefit of the community, White Pine County, and the state of Nevada. And more than that, I encourage you to come down during the summer months when you have people walk in and they say, I'm from Houston, and I drove out of my way because I saw Ely and the railroad on TV. Philadelphia, all around the country. But more than that, when we get a car club of Bentley car owners from London coming all the way over and making their stop here in Ely, you know we've got a tremendous international exposure. I've had people from Korea come over who immediately plucked down $500 to become a member. We've had Australians come here and say they saw it on TV. They drove miles out of their way. So, all I'm saying tonight is that I would like to see a cooperative effort to resolve these problems, and I think they can be resolved to the benefit of the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Anybody else for public comment?
I just got a couple more things I'd like to bring up in that. Ruth, in the bills, I've never seen anything where you were billed or where you paid any money to the city for the fire hydrant and the 21st that you said that you would do. So I just want to make sure that you do get billed for that, and there is a receipt for it. When they do, I would like to see that. I'd like a copy of that to see that it's been paid. And then another one, you guys are spending money left and right, and it's concerning me that you're going to run the city into financial difficulties, and that the way you're spending money. For one instance, is on the 2012 Ford pickup. You bought a $7,500 snowplow for that. That was not in the budget. I know your public works director told you it was in the budget, but I was there when the budgets were put together and approved by taxation, and there was no money for a snowplow for that pickup. So you're spending money left and right. Your CTX tax is down. Your gasoline tax is down. That's your revenue that operates the city. And if your revenues are down, you guys need to curtail your spending. You need to cut back on your spending, not keep doing it. You're talking now picking up $72,000 for the railroad. And that, where are you guys coming up with all this money? Because the city doesn't have that kind of money. Yes, we ended up with a good end fund balance at the end of June of 2013, but I can guarantee you, you're not going to have that kind of a end fund balance at the end of June of, June of 14. And that's so you really need to look at your finances and see where you're at, because I think you guys are headed for a good downfall.
Thank you, Rick. Anybody else for public comment?
Hi folks, Mr. Mayor, Council. I would like to speak about rumors supposedly going on. I think the city is in the best position it ever has been. The clerks and everybody else here has been doing a great job. And I'm talking from the inside as well as a citizen. I know that there are certain people wanting to tear you down. Don't let it happen. You're doing a good job, and I think that you're going to do a good job with the railroad thing too. But I know that you are all doing a good job, especially Ron Jenkins, who is being torn down right and left. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Sounds like we need to get a new grader, a big one. Yeah, big ass grader. You know what I'm saying?
Can you say that on TV?
Yeah, it'll be on a 12,
Excellent.
6.
Don't bleep it out.
Mr. Mayor, I've asked in the past, and my concerns are the same. Finally getting some information on new businesses. And unfortunately, when you put these out, there's no dates, no addresses, whether they have a commercial address, home occupation, where their location is. How are you going to rectify things? You need to look at that, Mr. Mayor. Also, on building permits, you have one grand total, you have 6 or 7 people on there. Did one pay it all? Were the others there for just the ride? You need to be clear on that, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I've asked for information for quite some time under NRS 239.107. Not that many. I'm going to give you a copy this evening so you can understand where I'm coming from. I don't like bothering you folks, but when I ask for information, and it's allowed under the open meeting law, then I respectfully ask for that information. Earlier you talked about the National Guard and possibly buying the building. I would strongly suggest you look at the history. I believe I signed a lease on that particular facility when Bob Miller was mayor. They were talking about taking over the facility, and with that comes some ramifications in regards to whether or not the National Guard stays within our community. We need that facility here. We need the National Guard here. They looked at other sites, it was too costly. So let's not rush into this thing. You want a new building, I'm all for that. County's contemplating building new. Let's do a city-county building. These guys are squandering money. Let's do a project. Sam, you said on one occasion you'd like to show outsiders what we can do. Well, let's show some cooperation. I'd like to work with you on that. They won't listen to me. They may listen to you.
I got shot down last week when I said that.
Mr. Mayor, I was talking the filling station for the county, out by the county golf course, but the city has paid a ton of money on a filling station down by the railroad. It can be modified, or you might be able to use it as is. Let's not expend money we don't have to. I believe that Phil's spout will swing over to the opposite side. That was over $100,000. Let's quit squandering money. Mr. Mayor, you today did not address as to why you're charging me commercial rates for my home when I'm not in business. I'm again requesting your response in writing for the basis for your refusal. I'm again requesting a copy of State Senator Pico Lucida's landfill building, which he stated at a county commission meeting was approximately $500 or more without penalties and interest.
Thank you, Mr. Chadwick. Anybody else for public comment?
Can I speak on another individual who allowed that
I
earlier?
give you 3.5 minutes.
I want to speak on behalf of my brother. He has the same concern.
Well,
He couldn't make it.
would you have a letter from him or something?
Pardon me?
You have a letter?
Well, council
No, he
didn't
had
have
letter. He was his, that's council. And he had letters from both of them.
No, he's doing
No,
public
I'm
comment.
gonna let you
He
go
could have been
on.
on the
You
agenda,
want to
Mr.
speak
Mayor.
for everybody in the town.
I don't mind doing
No,
that,
no.
but I'm not asking.
If you have a letter from them, signed by them, like, the council did.
Mr. Mayor, you've allowed others to come before you and speak without a letter, yet you continuously tell me I need a letter. Why?
If you're going to speak for somebody else, you have to bring in a letter. When I have Jennifer speak for public comment, she has a letter from them.
You didn't do that with Mr. Cox. He supposedly spoke on behalf of KLY, and there was some others from the mine. They didn't have a letter.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
That's the problem, Mr. Mayor. You can't do the job.
No, I know that. But the good thing is, I didn't get recalled yet. And I wasn't asked to leave my office because I broke the law.
I didn't break the law. Mr.
No,
Mayor.
yes, you did. I read. I can bring in the proof if you'd like.
Yeah. I would like
Anybody
to
else
see
would
that.
like public comment? No.
Yeah, I got some. All I can say is this, George loves to watch you guys. Hey, you guys did a really good job tonight on addressing our concerns and that, and I thought you did very well. But I do notice that you're gonna have to get somebody with both Rick and George here. We're gonna need a counterpoint for these, for these public comment. That's all I gotta say, thanks.
He's wrong and I'm right, Jim.
Anybody else? Don, did you come up already?
Just a quick thing on the.
Where's the letter? Where's the letter?
No,
Find something
no,
with plenty of
because
parking.
Mr. Chances will give you time to go out and print up some letters.
Have your mom write a letter. I'll sign it.
Anybody else for public comment?
That's why I'll sign it.
Going once, going twice? Okay, public comment. And since we don't have to talk about the union, the regular city council meeting for a closed session, I'll go on for call for the adjournment for the. I move we adjourn. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you all for coming.
Do we have to sign anything?
Here. Hi Jennifer, how are you?
Well, here. Hey, Jerry, what's up?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't know what you said, but I thought, oh, that felt good. You know, for you to say what I said.
But they're living on $1 or $2 million, which they actually have. Most of them. You don't know why they don't. They don't know if they want it.
Where are we going? I don't care. No? Okay. Yeah, no, I know. I'm not going to eat this though. Because I just ate. I had that big calzone.
Keep digging.
Okay, that's
Come back, it's $3. Oh, it's $3? Every day. This is where the
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chachis reporting. The preceding program was sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer, at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Ely TV, Channel 3-2 in Ely, Nevada. Local news telecasts can be seen Monday through Friday at 12:30 and 6:30 p.m. on this station.